Georgetown heritage. But of course, hockey wasn't the only entertainment in Georgetown. The kids would toboggan, and they had concerts at the Georgetown school. And then in 1923, Frank Solomon bought the first radio in Georgetown, and it was a great source of amusement when you could pick up more than hisses and growls of static. There weren't many radio stations in 1923. And I didn't mention a couple of other businesses in Georgetown. Peter Solomon ran a photography studio and had a store, and Janie McCory mentioned his brother Frank, who was a barber, and his wife also ran a public bathhouse, believe it or not.
A public bathhouse?
A public bath, and she ran a boarding house and a bakery. Her name was Ada Jane, and she'd been a bachelor. Now, that's her maiden name and not her status. And the bachelors, of course, were related to the Wilts, who were the famous furniture makers in Georgetown, the famous Wilt chairs. And when summer rolled around and school was out, finally the event that everybody waited for all year, the Georgetown exhibition. And people would pour into Georgetown from all over that part of PEI. It was a busy time at Ada Jane Solomon's bakery. Now here's her daughter Estelle, who's now 100 years old.
She would do all the baking and cooking for it herself. Yeah, but she'd hired a couple of women, and there was 2 big stoves in the kitchen. Papa would cart the stuff up. In olden days, we had a horse, and he called it Star. It had a big white star on its forehead. And then after that, we had a baby grand touring car. He bought it off the exhibition field in Charlottetown. And she was seamstress of the town, and she was run a bakery, and Papa ran the barber shop, and we were busy. It never worked so hard in my life. We had to make 10 beds and clean the rooms before we went to school. And then we come home, the dishes would be piled halfway to the ceiling. Look at the dishes, they're crying.
And what was the exhibition, just to get back to that for a second? What was it like? Was it fun for you, too?
There was a fellow, they called him Feathery Mick, and he always came to Georgetown. And then he'd come to our place, like for his dinner or something like that, or just to hang around. The guys would always give him a drink.
And why was he called Feathery Mick?
Well, he wanted a big tummy, and he didn't have one. So he put a cushion in with 2 big safety pins, and the safety pins let go, and the cushion fell. And anyway, eventually, as he got older, he did get the big tummy, and he was always going up to you and patting and feeling it, But anyway, we named him Feathery Mick.
I honestly don't know why he'd want that big tummy.